So, what we did here was all this molding was severely cracked. So what we did was we wiped it down with glue, Elmer's glue. We wiped it down, and then with a wet rag forced it into the cracks, and we fixed it as best possible without destroying too much of the detail. Then what we did after that, we made an alginate mold on the good section like this, and we cast a piece like this in the alginate mold, and then we cut a repair piece right here. Okay, so now what we're going to do after it's all been molded, mounted, and dried, we're going to dry brush on gold finish to try to fix up the frame without too much expense to the owner. So what we're going to do, and this is called dry brushing, because what you do is you saturate the brush with some clear lacquer and brass powder, and then we dry it almost completely. That's why we call it dry brushing. So now what we do is we'll splash some, we'll put some gold powder, actually it's brass. We'll put some brass powder on the cardboard, and then we'll splash some lacquer on the cardboard and try not to get it on the frame. Try to keep everything neat. I know that's going to be tough because that's not the way we work. So we're going to saturate the brush, not too much, just tapping it in there with some lacquer. Okay? And then we dab into the gold powder. Right? And we get it like this, and then we dry it up a little bit. See, like this, we don't want it too wet. Then what we do is we go like this. Just the slightest amount, very light. See how nice the detail comes up like that? If you just do it lightly, you get a nice contrast with the raised detail will get the gold, and the lower detail stays dark. And it really helps to bring out the detail. So we're going to have to come back to this part and probably antique it a little bit, which we didn't do. See? Careful here, you won't get it all over the frame. This is what's called dry brushing. And we get an old frame that gets a little bit new, fresh use out of it. Now let's see if we can fix this up a little bit over here. We'll just use a magic marker and just darken the background. We'll just darken the whole thing up a little bit. Okay, now this top is really bad, so we're going to have to wet the brush again, and a little bit more brass powder, and then we dab it over here, because we don't want it too wet. Would use a rag here a little bit, take the excess off. Okay, and then we're going to go like this. And we're giving this old ratty frame a whole new lease on life without spending a fortune redoing it. And it's a little cruddy in here, so let's lay a little bit of gold in there as well. And if you do it properly, and the brush has the right consistency of fluid and powder in there, you don't leave any brush marks. And it's a lot better than it was, that's for sure. And then what you do with the brush, is you just wipe out the excess like this, and then your brush will be reusable later. It won't dry solid. Okay, so, and that's it. Thank you very much, cameraman.